Welcome to the Forsyth Magazines podcast. I'm Brooke Eagle, your host, bringing you the stories of the people shaping our community. From business owners to local leaders, we'll explore their journeys, passions, and lessons learned. Let's dive in. Hey guys, we are back with another podcast episode, and today I have Clare Fader. She is the owner and founder of Fader Real Estate. Hey Clare.
Hi there.
How's it going?
Very good, thank you.
We are so excited to have you on the podcast today, and I want to kind of just start off with talking about Best of Winston, which is a platform that is incredible for people who are new to the area and who have been here forever. I want to kind of talk about how to Fader. Why am I saying
I
that?
like it, actually.
Fader. Fader. How do Fader Realty and the Best of Winston kind of complement each other?
Sure. So I started out sponsoring it before we purchased it a few years ago, and I just thought it did the best job of like representing the vibe of the city. I purchased it from a woman named Dan Glenn, who'd purchased it from, I'm going to mess up her name, Terry Lynn Blank Adams. And they'd both done a great job of creating something that was really thoughtful, and really through the imagery and the storytelling, I thought was capturing an essence that I hadn't really seen on like one of the more corporate, websites. So I was just immediately wanted to be part of it and sponsor it. And then Anne did a great job and then was kind of done with her run. She was ready, and I'm very grateful she offered it to me to purchase before anyone else, I think. So like everything, I immediately said yes and did not think of what that was involved in that, like owning another business. But it was a good move. And really, we try to keep it very separate to real estate. But of course, real estate pays the bills. So, I probably don't leverage it as much as I could or should. But I also do it partly as a passion project. Many of the things that I, promote on it aren't necessarily, nobody pays to be on it, first of all. Mm-hmm. And most of the things that I promote are just things that I care about. Or, if I hear a compelling story or something to cover that I think people need to know about, or restaurants.
I love that. So how cool to have a platform like that to share things. How long have you been in Winston-Salem, Clare?
On and off since 1998, 1999, and then left for a few years, came back a couple of times.
Okay. And then how long have you been in the real estate world?
Since 2007, and I think I started my company in 2019 or 18.
Okay.
It's been 7 years, so it must be 18.
I feel like Fader Realty is really a staple in Winston-Salem. I feel like I see your signs everywhere.
Oh, thank you.
What's one of your approaches to kind of making your client experience really feel memorable and personal, that personal touch?
Well, I mean, I really put my heart and soul into it. And, it sounds silly, but like, the ethical component of what I do is so important. So whether it's me or my colleagues, nobody is looking at spreadsheets to see like how much somebody has sold. That is not my philosophy. We want to do a good job for people and provide a good service. And so there's no pressure on my team members to meet like numbers or I was neighbors with a realtor once years ago who had a team, and I remember hearing this thing like, you need to cold call these people. And I remember thinking like, okay, note to self, I never want to do that. And so our growth has been really word of mouth and
really organic.
Yeah, it really has. And maybe I'm a little too organic sometimes and could be more strategic and organized, but I sleep well at night, and I work with nice people, and then I get really decent clients. Yeah. And those nice people refer their friends to us who are also decent humans. So, I love what I do because I genuinely feel like I like what I do and who I work with and who I'm surrounded by.
And helping people.
Yeah. And it really is a service. The service component of what I do is what I'm passionate about. I mean, I nobody's going to, it's not brain surgery or rocket science. Nobody's going to die.
Or rocket surgery.
Or rocket surgery. Nobody's
I
going to
used to
die.
say rock scientist as a kid. My parents used to make fun of me.
But it is a huge decision for people. And it's an emotional decision, and it's a huge investment. So, I take it very seriously. And as I say, I put my heart and soul into it. And that's the only thing I require of the people that work with me.
How big is your team?
I think we have about 10 agents now, which sounds crazy to say, but I think that might be what we have.
Yeah. What do you look for when you add an agent to your team?
That they're not salesy, that they're really community focused, and they've found ways that they've, expressed to me that they genuinely care. And so that can be through, community work or just their personalities. I want to know they take what they do very seriously. Yeah. And they're good at asking for help, because for me, you don't need to know everything or
you can't.
half of everything. You just need to know what you know and know what you don't know and know when to ask for help. And so, we all really support each other. And as I tell my clients, like, I often work in partnership with one of my agents, and you get to sort of 2 for 1. And real estate has moved so fast in the last few years that I think it's really good to have more than one person kind of supporting you, because, whether it's Thomas or Carla or Ingrid, Julie, whoever, we often bounce, opinions on value, opinions on off of each other. So I just look for good team players who are, are okay with being part of a company that's not going to do like the conventional type of advertising.
Yeah.
So they'll get calls like, oh, like tomorrow we're going to a high school to serve lunches with La Coretta.
Cool.
They are donating food, and it's a way to. So we try to combine our gets-togethers as an office with either showing up to support a school or giving back in a way that's more meaningful than sitting and looking at spreadsheets.
Yeah, I love that. And I think to back to Best of Winston for a minute, I think it really is such a perfect complement. Like, you're promoting this community that you love so much while also being in the real estate world. So the people who are moving here, who are moving within the same city, that's a beautiful thing. You're doing awesome work.
Thank you.
There's a house that comes to mind that I saw posted on the Fader real estate Instagram not too long ago, and it was the most beautiful home I think I've ever seen. That it was the decor was like not eclectic but not traditional, very colorful, and
was it in the last few weeks?
It was in the last few weeks.
Was it like a mid-century modern house with a pool?
Yes.
Yeah, so a lot of people like that. I think, and I'm not exaggerating, I think we received 8 or 9 offers.
Wow.
And that was last month, which is typically not a very high part of the real estate market season. But it just shows, I mean, those folks, I can't really put into words how much thought. Everything was so intentional, and they're gifted. They're not decorators, but they should be.
Yeah.
And they're incredible collectors and amazing homeowners. And it's that mid-century style, but in a warm, authentic way that just appealed to so many people. And their landscaping. John Newman is a local landscape architect who'd done their yard, and it was really like, as a realtor, as a seller's agent, of course I want multiple offers, but I also want everybody to be happy. Yeah. And there were a lot of unhappy people that weekend.
It's hard to disappoint people.
Exactly. I wish I had 10 of those homes.
Oh my gosh.
What exactly is a mid-century? What does that mean? I mean, I know it means from the middle of the 20th century, but what features are there because I don't know what a mid-century.
I feel like some contemporary vibes a little bit.
Yeah, so, as opposed to Victorian, which would have been late 1800s, I would say that's the opposite end of the spectrum, where everything had details and curves and curls, and mid-century kind of stripped everything away. Yeah. And so you typically associate mid-century with very clean lines, lots of simple, large windows, and a functionality to the floor plan. So good mid-century design has a lot of like decent flow, and just a thought put into, each view from each window. And
But we're still having some color, I feel like mid-century.
Yeah, so you can make them very colorful. I mean, there's actually a great place that I just toured and we're going to feature on Best of Winston soon called JD Salvager. Have you heard of that?
Yes. Where is that?
It is north of town, and they have one of the best collections of mid-century furniture I've seen in North Carolina. Oh, wow. And so some mid-century stuff is really wild and colorful, and then other mid-century is more muted.
Yeah.
Well,
that brings me to my next question. How do you decide which events or stories or places to feature or to highlight on the Best of Winston?
So that is so hard because, I mean, we have a very small team, and it's very much, we wish we could highlight everything. Yeah. And so sometimes it's just what we happen to be available to do. And then there's just things that, as a former musician, artist, that I guess draw my attention, and then organizations that I've, cared about. So I try to find the things that might not get as much attention, and really focus on those. Like the best thing that can happen is like when I bump into someone and they say, oh my gosh, somebody just showed up for our talk on some very random esoteric thing at NCMSA, for example, because they read about it or heard about it through Best of Winston, or came to a show, a live performance. Like that just like warms my heart. It's like when people show up because they read about it or saw it.
That is special because you guys have a great social media following. I mean, that platform has really blown up, but you also have a fantastic newsletter.
Oh, thank you.
And I've lived here my whole life, but I love reading through it and seeing what's happening because even as a magazine publisher, I don't know every single thing that's going on.
Well, and I'm so glad to hear that you get it and like it, and I take zero credit for it. Emily LeBaron writes that and has done that for years.
I got to meet her.
Good.
She came to an event at the magazine last week.
She is just delightful, and it's such a tough job because she gets so much information, and we really try to curate it, not because we want to say one thing is better than the other, although we are very selective, but we just want to make it sort of the busy person's to do or go to.
Yeah, you can't have a million things on there. People wouldn't read it.
And that's the feedback we get is like, I was talking to a professor at the law school who moved here that we helped find a house a few years ago. And he said, we plan our weekend once we get your newsletter. And I was like, that just makes me so happy. So we try to like have a variety of things, and we really try to cover, make sure that it's has a broad range of like family friendly music, but it's all Emily. And so, and it's tough because of course, sometimes we wish we could include more, but we're committed to making it a smaller list and thoughtfully put together rather than everything. And we have like a 60% open rate, which
that's huge.
It's huge,
very huge.
So that's
it's very unusual.
Very unusual, yeah. So
that's awesome. And then you also have the amazing Natalie.
Oh my gosh,
who
Natalie
does a ton of work. She with her photography and her drones and all the things. I love working with Natalie.
She is an absolute sweetheart and is great with people. It just is a ray of sunshine.
Oh yeah,
represents Best of Winston so well. She really is like the personality, and she's such a great ham. I mean, she is up for anything. I could be like, Natalie, I want you to dress as Tinkerbell, and I'm going to have you.
She would do it.
She would do it. So she's just great.
And we love
I've seen it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you saw her running through downtown dressed as a parrot or something, or
oh my gosh,
to help promote something that we did for Callidium. So yeah, she is just a great sport. And then we have some other folks that are Neil and Tara Rotroff. They're sort of like Neil is the kind of creative director behind Best of Winston and works part-time, has a very intense full-time job, but is equally as passionate about Winston-Salem. We really bonded over that. He and his wife and son moved here from LA, I think 6 or 7 years ago, and he's an amazing videographer. He did some of the first reels that we did before Natalie joined, and he's really helped Natalie, learn to do a great job with those.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I see them collaborate a lot at local coffee shops.
I'm so lucky. Really, I'm clueless. I can turn my phone on and charge it, but so it's
you're a good delegator.
Well, I'm very lucky that
you hire the right people and let them handle what they're supposed to handle. Right?
That's right. So, as a realtor, I'm sure you get this question quite frequently. So, when people are new to the area, what is your must-do, can't-miss experience? Restaurant, coffee shop, place, anything that you tell them to do or to visit?
That's the question I don't want to answer. I mean, it's so hard. It just so depends. Like we do have like a 36 hours in Winston blog post that I usually, when I have clients or people that I'm helping try to convince to move to Winston-Salem, we share that with them. And, the things I think are so special. I mean, I kind of consider like Ronaldo Gardens, like and all those great trails. I kind of describe that as our Central Park. I mean, to have that much beautiful, accessible green space. It's not public property, but they, really I feel like we really treat it like that. And it's so lovely to walk through the grounds of Graylin and, just to know that the history and the beauty of that space. So definitely, if you've got time and the weather's nice, a stroll through there, knowing that it's, 7 to 8 minutes from downtown. What a really nice thing. And then, of course, Old Salem. I feel like that's such a gem. I wish there were 10 restaurants in Old Salem. I wish there was 20 antique shops, just putting it out there. I would love to see that. Because
they did just open, or not maybe just, but there is a restaurant that is open again in Old Salem, right?
I heard that. I think they've had some opening and closing issues because of the age of the kitchen and things. But, I wish there were more reasons for locals to be in Old Salem. I think I crashed a board of trustees meeting last year to sort of maybe suggest that a few times, that I'd love to see more active recruitment of, and like, Christmas market. Okay, now I'm just going to get on my soapbox here. Christmas markets are so popular. People, like millions or hundreds of thousands of people, go to Europe every year to go to Christmas markets. Can you think of a more beautiful location for a Christmas market on the East Coast?
Truly, I can't.
think, so I don't have time to do that, but I really wish somebody would, because...
So if you're listening to this podcast, let's start a holiday market.
Oh my gosh.
At Old Salem.
I just think it would be incredible. Can you imagine the photos?
I know, it's beautiful. I live very close to Old Salem. My grandfather was born in Old Salem, so it's a very special place to me too.
I think it's incredible. So I do these tours a lot, and so my line for Old Salem is, we don't have a Chinatown or a Little Italy, but we have Old Salem, and it is so unique.
Where do you like take some of your clients on tours? Mm-hmm. What's your kind of route?
Oh gosh. So I typically, I dodged the question about my favorite cafe because that would be really hard, or bakery. So I usually pick them up downtown or at Graylin, and then drive them through, of course, Renolda Gardens, Renolda Village, through Old Salem. I love Runnymede. I think it's one of the prettiest streets in town, so I try to include that. Through Old Salem, and then, of course, through downtown and Innovation Quarter. So depending how much time we have, I feel like, if you can show them Innovation Quarter, 4th Street, point out Aperture, drive them through West End, of course, and then Renolda Gardens. I mean, it's lovely because I don't think, people have an idea in their mind when they hear Chicago or they hear Charleston or Savannah, but so many people have nothing. They think witches when they think of Salem.
Yeah, so true.
So it's so lovely when people get in the car, and if they are considering a job here, and I see sort of a sense of relief where they're like, oh, I had no idea.
Cool spot.
Oh, this is a cool spot.
Yeah.
And, oh gosh, you've got multiple universities based here. No, I didn't know that. You have the first arts council in the country. So I'm trying to kind of create this, identity or help, this vision that I live. But if you're just Googling Winston-Salem, until more recently, I think it's been kind of hard to kind of capture that energy.
Oh, for sure. I do think Best of Winston has helped with that, though.
Thank you. Yeah, we really try.
Do you think that starting the platform or being a part of the platform of Best of Winston has kind of changed the way that you see the city or connect with the city?
Yeah. I mean, I'm very fortunate that it kind of gives me, a little bit of access to new things, and
that you may not would have known about.
Yeah. So typically, like Natalie and the larger team and I, we don't have, like regular meetings. Our meetings are usually like last week. We went to a new Middle Eastern place and had dinner together, and so we kind of combine shining a light on something with
that's so
with
cool.
Getting together. So yeah, that's it's really wonderful, and but it also, and Natalie and I do meet to go over content ideas and things, but so it's a really, I feel a responsibility and great joy that I get to know about so many things that are going on.
Oh yeah, that's special. Do you find, what percent, like roughly, of your clients do you think are moving here from out of city, out of state, out of country?
Well, I'd say probably 2/3.
Oh wow.
So we do a lot of recruitment work, and that was kind of why buying the Best of Winston made sense. Is because we're constantly pitching the city to people. And then we have fortunate to have a lot of repeat clients. So, we sold a house last week that I'd sold to them 15 years ago. So,
oh, wow.
We don't have we don't actually have a CRM. I don't know, it's shocking, but we're getting one. But so we just try to keep connected in authentic ways with our clients and just continue to do a great job so that, even if they haven't received a Christmas card from us or a whatever, that they know to call us 10 years later when they're deciding to sell a house. But yeah, a lot of our work is people new to town.
Oh, that's very cool. So when you're not selling homes or doing the Best of Winston thing, what do you personally like to do in your spare time? What kind of hobbies do you have? Where are you exploring?
Oh, gosh. Well, I have a weekly sauna date with a couple of good friends. We sauna and cold plunge.
I love that.
In my friend's backyard on Thursday mornings. And,
so fun.
That is really, really fun part of my week. And then I love to cook. I really do. So I love going to the markets. A good Saturday for me is hitting both the Fairgrounds Farmers Market and Cobblestone.
I heard there's a new one too.
Yes, on Sundays. Yeah,
Trade
that's great.
Street.
Yeah, and that's wonderful because sometimes I'm not organized enough on Saturdays. So I love the idea. There used to be one in Ronaldo Village that was great on Thursdays, and there used to be one. So I think it's great to have a couple of different days and markets in town.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I went last Sunday and it was packed. It was so great to see.
Oh, I love that. That's on my list for a Sunday soon.
Oh,
for sure.
Definitely go. Yeah.
So cooking, sauna, and cold plunge. I'm also a fan of the sauna and cold plunge. It is like a game changer for like immunity.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't get sick as often, knock on wood, when I do it frequently.
I love it. And I do like to eat out and, I have a number of dear friends that own restaurants and cafes in town.
Yeah.
And so I'm as crazy as my job and, there's very little separation between work and life. I do know enough about the restaurant business from waiting tables to know that my crazy day cannot really compete sometimes with a crazy day in the restaurant world.
Oh, so true.
So
how long did you wait tables for?
Oh gosh, a long time. It was, probably most of my 20s. I was after university, I was working as a singer and songwriter.
Very cool.
And paying the bills by waiting tables. And I did that. I did it in Montreal before I moved here and then in Winston. And so I really feel like I learned, between being a musician and being a waitress, I learned everything about running a business
I love that.
Or hustling and working really hard.
I'm a big proponent in that I think everyone should work in a restaurant at some point in their life. Like I feel so strongly about that. Mm-hmm. I was a hostess and a server for 5 or 6 years. And you're right. You learn so much. You don't take it for granted when you go out to eat.
Absolutely.
You may not be an a-hole to the people who work.
I will never leave a bad tip, like because a lot of times, most of the time, it's not the servers, it's out of their control.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you don't know what kind of day they're having. I think it just builds so much character to work in a restaurant. So I think you're right. I think that I'm sure you learned a lot with that does relate to real estate.
It really does. So. And the idea of like tables or plates spinning, and then you walk up to one table and you have to have a certain type of manner, and then another table is expecting something else from you, and you have to be remembering what stage in the meal they're at. So it's very much like selling houses because you have the people that really want you to tell them what to do, and then you have the people that really don't. And so you have to figure out everybody's love language.
Yeah.
And then how to support them and help them.
What a great analogy. That I've never thought about it like that, but that is so, so, so true. I mean, because if you don't, you have to have that in the real estate world, especially, or you're not going to be successful.
Yeah, not everybody wants the same kind of, I think at this point I'm fairly opinionated, but it's based on, is this home a good investment? Is this home in the condition that it needs to be for you not to lose your mind? Mm-hmm. So a lot of it is just based on my experience of renovating homes and owning homes. And then also living and working through a period in real estate where, there was no appreciation. So like today homes have, in the last 5 years, Winston's home prices have changed considerably. But my first 5 to 7 years in Winston, in selling real estate, pricing was really flat. So it was hard to envision buying a home and then spending a bunch of money renovating it, knowing you weren't going to get it back. So, all of that, I think, taught me to really be lean with my clients' money and with advice in terms of
and like you talked about the ethics portion of it, that you're if it were you buying a home or selling a home, you're going to tell your client exactly what you would do personally.
And I want to know that if their life changes in 2 to 3 years and they need to sell their home, I've sold them a house that I can sell for them again. So
yeah.
And that's the same philosophy, all my team. I mean, you know, we're critical, and but that's what we have to be. You know, we have to be pointing out the things that we will see will concern us.
Yeah.
From a condition standpoint or a resale standpoint.
What advice would you give to someone who is brand new to the real estate world?
I mean, just go out and do good things in your community and build, you know, a reputation for showing up and being genuine, and then learn as much as you can about neighborhoods and houses. Go to open houses. Just be of service, and then business will come. You know?
That's great advice. I think to be a successful realtor in any city, you really do have to have the love and passion for that specific community that you're in. Like, you live in Winston, you clearly love Winston, and that kind of shows through just talking with you. Yeah,
and you know, you don't have to be passionate about everything. I think you can find your niche, find your corner, and support that thing, and that's really, you know, that's really powerful. Yeah. Oh, Claire, it was so much fun to chat with you and learn a little bit more about Best of Winston and about Fader Realty. So how can we follow along on Instagram with both of your businesses? At Fader RE for Fader Real Estate, and then at Best of Winston.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Claire.
I appreciate what you do. Thank you, Tim.
Absolutely.
As always, you can find Forsyth Mags on social media as well, at Forsyth Mags and forsythmags.com. And if you enjoyed this episode, or if you've ever enjoyed one of our episodes, we would love it if you would leave us a rating or a review. And that is a wrap for today. Thanks, y'all. The views and opinions stated on this podcast are solely those of the contributors and not necessarily those of our distributors or hosting companies. This podcast is copyrighted and cannot be reproduced without expressed written consent of Forsyth Magazines Incorporated. Whew, that's a mouthful.